back, relax, and maybe get yourself a snack. Me and you gonna have a little chat about books. Hey guys, so I am here to do a little vloggy thing. I haven't really done a vlog in quite a long time actually, so I'm gonna do one. Basically today is the 18th of February. It's just turned into the 18th, so it's just gone midnight. It's about 25 past because I'm not gonna lie guys, I had a little power nap before midnight to try and stay awake and then I felt worse, so I'm not sure that was the way to go. Hopefully it helps later on down the line. Basically I'm super tired, but I'm up, I'm awake and I'm ready. I asked on Twitter which book I should start with and I gave a choice of a few different things, and this was the one that most people said I should start with. I think largely based off of the cover. I think a lot of the people that voted said the cover was gorgeous, but some of them have read it too and said it was really good, so hopefully I will feel the same way. This is my first pick for the Getting Graphic readathon and I'm really excited, so let's get started. Hey guys, so it's about an hour later and I just finished my first graphic novel, which was Lady Killer. This is by Joelle Jones and Jamie S. Rich and it's volume 1. I definitely enjoyed this. It's inspired by a sort of 60s housewife, but she's an assassin on the side and she earns her own money by doing hits on people and killing them. Of course she also balances this with her family life, so it's really fun so far. I definitely thought the colour palette was really great. I'll show you some clips of some of the artwork and some of my favourite panels. I took a few pictures and I posted them on my Instagram because it's a very Instagram worthy readathon, this one, and I'm just really enjoying reading some graphic novels, so I'm hoping I can squeeze one more in before I fall asleep because I'm pretty tired. It's already like 1 in the morning, but hopefully I can get through one more and then sleep and carry on after I'm awake again, so that is the plan. I gave this one 3 out of 5 stars overall. Hey guys, so I just finished up my second graphic novel of the readathon. It's like 2 something in the morning and I really enjoyed this one. I have to admit, this one I enjoyed more than I enjoyed Lady Killer. I think the artwork in this one was slightly more my style, but also the story was a lot heavier in text. There was a lot more text in this one and I think there was a bit more world building because of that, and I just think the story really started to kind of kick off by the end of this volume. Unfortunately I don't own the other volumes in the series yet because I didn't know if I was going to like it or not, but I really did, so I'll definitely pick them up at some point. However, for the moment I gave this 4 stars and I think the artwork is really cool. It's kind of in the details in this one. I think some of the details are really lovely, and it's about a world where people get an STI that makes them beautiful, and then 2 years after this STI first emerges, people start to kind of spontaneously combust from the inside out, and it's pretty dark. It's really cool and I'm really liking it, and I gave this 4 stars overall. Hey guys, so it is quite late now. It is like 3:45 in the morning and I just finished this, which is my 3rd graphic novel of the night. I really enjoyed it. I absolutely love the artwork in this. I just think it's beautiful. The colour tones in particular are probably my favourite, but I just think the whole way that it's drawn, the different panels, the way that it all comes together is just so beautiful. So I gave this one 4 out of 5 stars and I would hugely recommend this series. I do think I enjoyed the story of the first one more, but I still think it's a really great series, so I'm really looking forward to carrying on with it when more volumes come out. Not sure if they're out yet, but I love this and I would recommend it definitely, so 4 stars for this. Really excited to carry on. I'm gonna have a little snooze for a few hours to try and make sure that I'm not just lagging when it gets to the afternoon, but I will be back soon, and when it is tomorrow, and once I wake up I will be carrying straight on with this readathon, which I'm so excited about, so yay for that. Morning guys, so it is now I think about 10 o'clock in the morning. Let me check.
Nope, it's 11:15 in the morning. I got up at 7:30 and I spent a while sort of retweeting and chatting on Twitter and Instagram with all the people who are participating, of which there are many. I'm really excited by how many of you are joining in, so thank you so much if you were one of those people. I'm really enjoying seeing all the posts and replying to you all. And then I started reading a comic, and I started reading Y the Last Man, Volume 1 or Book 1. It's by Brian K. Vaughan and Pia Guerra, and it's published by Vertigo. I've heard so many good things about this. Ever since I read Saga, people have been telling me to read this series by Brian K. Vaughan, so I finally got around to picking it up. It is actually coloured inside, as you can see, and I'll show you some of the artwork. I think it's fairly sort of classic comic book style. It's not my favourite style of artwork. I do prefer sort of more clean lines and less dark colours, but in terms of like the story, I think the story was really interesting. I didn't love the main character. The premise of this is that all of the men in the world suddenly die instantly at the same time wherever they are, except for one called Yorick, and his pet monkey is the only mammal who survives, who is male too. So all of the male animals and creatures the world over also die. So it's just these two left with the Y chromosome, and they have to kind of figure out how to get by in a world that is now dominated by females. However, with that said, he's a bit whiny and I didn't love him, but the females in the book I thought were great. So powerful, so fun, so feisty, so full of life, so easily taking care of the world without men, which was great fun to see, and I really enjoyed that element of it. So I gave this a 3.5 stars in the end, and I do think it's one that I would like to continue the story for, but I hope the main character becomes less bratty because I just don't like him that much at the moment. Hey guys! So it's now about 2:30 in the afternoon, and I just finished reading Death Note Volume 1 Black Edition, which was my first proper manga. I think I read one manga quite a few years ago and I didn't really like it, so this was my first one that I'd been recommended by some of you guys in the past and heard good things about, and I definitely enjoyed this more than I expected to. It started out quite cheesy, I'm not gonna lie, and I thought, oh, I'm not sure this is for me. But as the story went on, I started getting way more into it, and I think the second section was way more interesting than the first, and it was a bit more dark and creepy, so I really enjoyed it in the end, and I would give this a 3.5, almost a 4, but not quite. I think the next few volumes would probably boost that up to a 4, but obviously I don't have them, so I can't carry on with it just yet, but I definitely would like to, and I think it's got some really cool character designs. Some of the people in there look really fearsome, and I liked reading this one, I have to say. It was very fantastical and creepy and dark. It's about a boy who finds a notebook when he writes people's names in it, and he knows what they look like and he pictures them in his head. He can kill them in all manner of ways, and he also is kind of friends, kind of acquaintances with a death god who is shadowing him to see what he does with the Death Note notebook. So it's definitely an interesting story, and one that I very much liked the premise of, and I'm happy I've read it. So that takes me to a total of about 1,092 pages read today, which I'm really happy with. I know they're picture based, so it's not the same as novels, but I'm really happy with it all the same. I'm going to keep reading. I really want to read a few more, but I'm going to have a little break for a bit just because I feel quite tired. Hey guys! So it's now 5:45 in the evening, and I just finished reading Adventure Time Volume 1. I took a little break to go and do some filming earlier, which went really well, and then I just dived straight on back in, so I didn't have a nap, but I felt a bit rejuvenated after the filming. So I loved this, like absolutely categorically loved it. I did not expect to love it anywhere near as much as I ended up loving it. I didn't really know what to expect. I kind of picked it up thinking it would be a light palette cleanser, but it was so much more than that. It was so charming, it was witty, it was funny, it was sarcastic, it was beautiful, and you get introduced to all the characters who are in the show in this. I've never seen the show, but I now want to, and it's just really fun, and I think that's the best thing that you can get in a graphic novel when you're doing a readathon, is to have something that just brightens up your day, and this definitely did that for me. So I actually ended up giving this a 5 out of 5 stars. I also have to say that I adore all the covers that they've got in the back. Sometimes in comics and trades you get a cover gallery, which is all the amazing cover artists kind of putting their own spin on the characters, and it's beautiful in this particular one, so I'm going to show you some of those, and I just think they're beautiful, beautiful covers. I just had a great time doing the read through of this one, and I now have actually done the 6 that I initially planned on, so I'm hoping I can keep reading for a bit more because I've still got some time and I'm not too exhausted yet, although I'm kind of exhausted, so hopefully I can get through a few more. I gave this 5 stars though, and I would 100% recommend it, and I will be picking up more in the series in future because I just think it's so charming and fun, and I can't recommend it more highly to you. Hey guys, so it's now just gone 8 o'clock in the evening, and I've just finished my 6th graphic novel, which is the 7th thing I've read. This is Witches Volume 1. I have been a little scared of kind of diving into this because I'd heard it was super creepy, and I do think it is creepy, but I don't think it was as creepy as I was expecting it to be. The artwork in this one is kind of intentionally really beautiful in some scenes and intentionally really scratchy and messy in some scenes. It follows a family who are moving away from where they used to live to try and escape the sort of horrors that they've sort of witnessed in their old home, and we follow them as they move to this new town, which doesn't really work out too well for them, to be honest, because that's where the witches live. And it's quite a dark comic. It deals with mental health a little bit, which is kind of nice to see, and I do think it had its moments where it was really interesting. But I think some of the pages with the witches themselves I would have liked to see more details. I know you're not supposed to, but I just would have liked to see a bit more of the design and the witches and what they were doing, and I just don't feel like we got that as much as I wanted. So I gave it a 3.5. I definitely liked it, and I do think I'm very intrigued by it, but it didn't impress me quite as much as I was hoping for, so that is my thoughts on that one. Hey guys, so it's now 10:30 just gone on the day of the readathon, and I read 3 books, so they're all part of the same series, so I thought I'd update you on all 3 of them at the same time. That just seemed to make sense, and I got really into the series. So I've now completed the series challenge with Peter Panzerfaust, the new to me author with Lady Killer, and I've also completed the artwork that I love by reading the Gotham Academy series, and also the last volume of Peter Panzerfaust, which I'm about to show you because that one wowed me with the artwork. The first one I read is volume 2 because I've already read the first one. I really liked getting back into this series, but I think it took me a bit of time because it had been quite a long time since reading the first one and going back into this one. So I gave this a 3 out of 5 stars. I think the artwork and the story of this one were interesting, but they didn't captivate me as much as the later ones really did. This is a retelling of Peter Pan, but it's set in World War II, largely in France, and it focuses on Peter Pan, who is called Peter Panzerfaust, and the various lost boys that he picks up along the way through the wreckage of war. And also we meet Tiger Lily, we meet Wendy, we meet Captain Hook, who is Captain Hook, and we meet his assistant, who is Mr. Shmee. Kind of, as you can see, it's all a bit tongue-in-cheek, but it also has some really interesting and in-depth things about war. You can see from some of the images it's quite a war-strewn graphic novel series, and war definitely features quite heavily, but within that there are some really emotional, lovely moments that were touching. I then moved on to volume 3 in the series, which I definitely enjoyed more. I felt like I was getting more into the story. You actually see this story from the point of view of a kind of reporter or a journalist who is going around and he's interviewing the survivors, the people who make it out of the war, about Peter Pan and about what happened to them, and then you see in flashbacks what really happened, as if they're telling their story, and I really like that format. I think that works really well. And the third one I enjoyed more. I gave this a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I think it just worked a little bit better for me as an overall story. However, with that said, I then went on to the 4th volume, which is this one, and I loved this. This was Tiger Lily's story, and Tiger Lily is by far my favourite character. She is a badass, she is fierce, she is beautiful, she is strong, she is determined, and she's pretty much everything I love to see in a character, and she's drawn absolutely beautifully as well. As you can see, I think some of the pages in this volume were just spectacular to look at. I kept tweeting lots of them because I was really excited by it, and I just fell in love with the sort of more emotional, raw side of this story because it's a bit more personal than the others. So I would definitely say this was my favourite one in the series so far, and I gave this one a 4.5 out of 5 stars, and I would certainly recommend the series as a whole, but particularly this volume was my favourite. So yeah, loved it. Loved this one. This was Low Volume 2. This is a weird story, and it focuses on this world which is completely alien. It has people who live in tanks, people who fight in pits. It's a very hopeless world. Lots of people have given up hope of ever escaping the tragedies of this world. But it's also an incredibly beautifully illustrated one. I love the illustrations of this graphic novel. I think they're just absolutely stunning. Some of the pages within here are beautiful, and again, it's one that I just could stare at for hours and hours and happily sit and read. So I really enjoyed this. This was my 12th graphic thing overall, 11 graphic novels and 1 manga. Amazing. I don't know how I've done it really. But I'm really happy, and I've managed to get to 1,915 pages with the addition of this one. So seeing as I still have 40 minutes to go, I might try and squeeze in one more graphic novel, even if I finish slightly after midnight, just because I would really like to make that 2,000 page barrier, and if I choose one more that should do it. So fingers crossed I can do that, and I'll update you at the end of the night, which should be very soon. Hey guys, so it is exactly midnight, the exact end of the readathon, and I just literally finished Nailbiter Volume 1, which, if I'm honest, probably not the best one to read just before I go to bed because it's pretty dark. This was definitely by far like the most scary and creepy one that I read, so I definitely didn't plan out my day well by reading this one last, but oh well. I'll just listen to a nice lovely audiobook or something before I go to sleep so I don't have nightmares, because I'm a bit of a scaredy cat. It's about a town where there are loads of serial killers, and we're following a detective who goes there to try and meet his friend who's been investigating the serial killers, but when he gets there his friend is missing, and of course something has happened to him involving various serial killers. It also features a main character who likes to chew the nails of dead people or live people and then kill them once he's chewed off their nails. Anyway, it's not very nice, but I think the artwork is like okay. It's nothing special but nothing bad either. It's definitely a likeable style, so I would give this 4 stars overall for the story, and I definitely want to continue on and find out what happens next. So that is my amazing end of the readathon. I've managed to surpass 2,000 pages. I'll put the exact amount of pages on the screen for you, but yeah, I am amazed. I managed to read 12 graphic novels, 1 manga, and over 2,000 pages, so I'm really happy with that. I also spent loads of time on the Twitter chatting to so many of you who took part, and it was so much fun. I've been on Instagram, I've been on Twitter, and I've been talking to you all and posting my own updates, and it's just been so lovely. So leave me all your comments below if you've read any of the graphic novels that I have in this that I've shown in this video, or if you have any recommendations for me based off of the ones that I've really liked, please leave them in the comments below too. Thank you all for watching, and I'm gonna head to bed, so good night, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye!
Thank you for watching my video today. Go pick up a book, then come back and chat with me again.